Hi guys, and welcome to this Monday's video. Yesterday I put out a little poll on my Instagram about what I should do this video on. Do people want another beauty video like on Friday, or should I do something a bit spooky? So in Friday's video I spoke about how I wanted to change the direction of my channel. Not the direction, but just the content, and I wanted to do more spooky stuff. So that's what we're gonna do today, because spooky stuff won the poll by a landslide. So you've probably clicked on this because you think I was possessed. Clickbait! I was not possessed, but I was kind of. Because what I suffered from was a thing called sleep paralysis. And for centuries, all over the world, people thought that sleep paralysis was possession. And to be honest, some people still do believe that when they are under sleep paralysis, they are being possessed. Or, I found out, abducted by aliens. I didn't get abducted by aliens. So I thought I would tell you the little story of my sleep paralysis / possession. So a little trigger warning before I get started into the story. It is dark, it is violent, and it is concerning something to do with sexual assault. So if that is something that's going to make you uncomfortable, then you can skip forward to the analysis of it or click off the video, whatever is going to make you feel better. But I'll put a little time around here somewhere so you can see where you should skip to when I've stopped talking about my experience. So I'm going to take you back in time about 4.5 years ago. I had moved from Liverpool back to here. I was in this room right here. It was a little bit different though because I had different furniture, and I was with my ex-boyfriend. He wasn't here, he was in Ipswich, and I say that because that was a very stressful time in my life, and that comes into it. And he was also the first person that I phoned after it happened because I was pooping my pyjama pants. So I was asleep, I knew I was asleep, and I don't know if you've ever had one of those dreams where you are dreaming that you're awake, like the dream is so vivid that you dream that you're awake and you're doing like your daily routine, even if it's just like getting up and going making your morning coffee. It feels so real. I get those dreams quite a lot, and it actually is quite exhausting because it feels like you haven't been to sleep at all. Anyway, this sleep paralysis was a little bit like that. So in my head, I am awake and I cannot move. That is one of the most common signs of sleep paralysis, hence the paralysis, is that you cannot move. You feel like your body weighs a ton. Like you cannot even lift your arms up and down. You can't even wiggle your fingers and your toes. And that in itself is really scary, being trapped in your body. But what else happens in sleep paralysis very commonly is that you will see a supernatural being. So when I was in my sleep paralysis state, I was awake and I couldn't move, but I could glance my eyes down like that. So my bed was in this position still, and over here I had like a big dressing table, and I looked down and I saw like a gargoyle creature. That's all. I don't want to use the word demon, but like that's what I imagine like that Christian style demon looks like. And it had like a grey-green skin, like sludge that you see in rivers. It was that sort of colour, and it had a very pointy, bald, with no hair on its body whatsoever, bald head, very jagged features and jagged teeth. I vividly remember the jagged teeth, like yellow jagged teeth, and black eyes. And it's skinny, and you could see like all the bones in its body, and the skin was sort of like, it didn't really have any muscle or anything like that. It was just the skin was like hanging off the bones, and it turned like that and looked at me, and it just grinned, this horrible, menacing, wide grin with these big yellow jagged teeth. And then I remember it was all like hunched up like that, and it unfurled, and it had like extending arms. I know that sounds so, well, the whole thing sounds ridiculous, but the whole thing, like, it extended out its arms, and it clamped onto my ankles, and I could feel these bony fingers on my ankles, and they were cold. They were so cold, like someone had just put like ice poles around my ankles. And then it started like clambering up my body. So this is where the sexual assault comes into it. And it's clambering up, and I can feel it moving up my body. And then it gets all the way up my thighs. I can feel its weight on me. Its like whole body is now sort of on my thighs, and its hands are on my shoulders, and its face is like moving up. So it's like pulling itself up my body. And I could almost like smell it, and it smelled like mouldy water, like when the tide goes out but you still have like that pond smell. And it climbed up, and then it was just in my face, and it had these, I just keep talking about the teeth, but that was just the one thing that I really remembered. And I thought it was going to assault me, and I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. And then I woke up, it was horrendous, because I thought I was awake already. I thought this was actually happening, and I woke up, and you know in movies where they like sit bolt upright, I thought that's exactly what I did, and I was sweating. You know, like when you have flu fever sweats, that's what I felt like. And I was home alone, because my parents had already gone out to work, and I just picked my phone up and I phoned my boyfriend at the time and was just sobbing down the phone to him. And yeah, it was terrifying, and I was scared for the rest of the day. I was terrified, and I think because not only does it invade your own personal space, but it invades like your home, and so I was so scared to be in the house all that day. So I actually went out, and I think I'd work in the afternoon, so I went out in the morning and I just went into town really early. And I was so scared to go to sleep that night because I was so worried that it was going to happen again. So that's the time that I got sleep paralysis / possessed by a demon. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what causes sleep paralysis, because I want to put some science behind it. I, as you know, am a huge believer in ghosts and paranormal, and I love a bit of alien stuff, and I love all of that. What I don't believe in is demons. As you know, if you've watched my videos before, I'm not a Christian, so I find it hard to say that there would be demons when they are a Christian-based supernatural being. Hope that made sense. Sleep paralysis happens when you are either just about to go to sleep or just about to wake up. So it's that time in your body when your physical muscles, your body is asleep, hence the heaviness, but your brain hasn't quite switched off. So it can happen when you are falling asleep, but you kind of don't notice that when you're falling asleep because you're expecting to feel heavy. But when you're waking up, you're expecting to feel light and refreshed and all of that. I think statistics say that it happens to 4 out of 10 adults, but it is more likely to happen during puberty. And one of the main reasons of that is stress. So puberty, for those who have gone through it, is a very stressful time. Your body is changing, your attitude is changing, you're having to grow up really fast, and so it's quite a stressful time. And then I, during my experience, was stressed, so that makes absolute sense. There is no cure for sleep paralysis. If you experience it more like I've only done it once and I never want to have it ever again. It was the most terrifying experience of my life. But if you experience it regularly or frequently, or whatever the word you want to use there, there is no cure. All they can do kind of is put you on antidepressants or give you sleeping pills to knock you out, but obviously they have their own dangers. That was my little story time about my sleep paralysis, so I hope you enjoyed that. Give me a thumbs up and comment down below if you want to see more spooky paranormal things. I have some more ghost stories that I would like to talk about. I have some more dream things that I'd like to talk about, and it would be great to know if you want to see these, so comment below. And don't forget to subscribe. I upload every Tuesday and Friday at 11 AM British time. So until next time, bye bye.